what we want typically is very almost sometimes unknown to us because it's almost subliminal and it comes down from our early backgrounds and so on. We almost have to discover what we really want, right? And so when I think about your background in terms of your dad, your mom, and all of that journey, I think then your roots of what you want and what you value came from there. And
yeah, I was raised in Harlem. My father was killed when I was 2, almost 3 years old, and then my mother, you know, she had to figure it out and take over. She started working 4 jobs, and that's where I really learned my work ethic from. I would watch my mother get up in the morning. She would drive a school bus. Then she would go and work in a clothing store. Then she would go back, drive the school bus, come home and feed us. Then she worked with the United Cerebral Palsy, and she was a caretaker. And I never saw her sleep, you know? And it was just incredible. So when I was at the age of 12 years old, I wanted to step up.
And you were in Mount Vernon,
and yes, I was in Mount Vernon. I went from Harlem. She moved us to Mount Vernon because, you know, my father got killed, you know, in Harlem. And she just wanted a fresh start for us. And she made it happen and always figured out a way, out of no way, to send me to the best schools. And I identified that. I identified all of the sacrificing that she did. So when at 12 years old, I was like, I need to help out.
And this is the most important stuff. Like I was lucky enough to have 2 parents who loved me, and then I went to a public school. And when you think about the fundamentals, you went to, I think it was a Catholic school, right?
Yes. I went to Catholic schools all my life. I was an altar boy, you know, and I went to a Catholic school in grade school. Then high school, I went to a Catholic school, Mount St. Michael's. I went to an all-boys school. So that kind of made me girl crazy because all day long I was with boys. So by the time I got out, and it was a unique experience. I think everybody's experience shapes them. Yeah. And when before I got to high school, that's when I started working. I started putting, you know, a legal age on my resume, and I went and I doctored up a birth certificate so I could work, because I mean I had to do that. I wasn't trying to be deceiving, but I had to help my mother out. I couldn't watch her work herself to death. And so I began a paperboy franchise.
We were talking about, because you were paperboy, I was a paperboy.
Yeah. So, you know, paperboy franchise, and that kind of taught me so much. I would take all of the kids that were going to college, I would make a deal with them, give me your route, and then I'll send you half of the money. So I would give them an offer they couldn't refuse. So, you know, you get 6 routes. You know, I started making up to $500 a week, and that was able to help out with the house and groceries, and that gave me a sense of just like pride that I was able to help my mother out and my family, and so from that I became like my mother. I had my paper route. I was a gas station attendant. I worked in a Mexican restaurant, and so that's kind of how my journey began. My journey began as far as, which a lot of people in underserved communities, you know, it's survival. But for me, I was thinking bigger. I was thinking like, you know, I wanted to get to a point where, you know, where I can make a difference and be something that represented my community in a positive way. Because all the images I saw on television and what I saw in the streets growing up in the era of crack, it wasn't the most appealing image of yourself if you were black. You know, the communities were flooded with drugs and flooded with guns, and it was a real dark time. It was like The Walking Dead. And to make it up out of that, and my mother pushing me and sending me to Howard University, you know, that when I wake up every day, that's still a part of my purpose. Mm-hmm. I haven't like graduated from that same drive and that same purpose that I had as a paper boy, you know.
So let's talk about culture, because culture is everything, right? That's the mission and how you're operating with stuff.
Yes.
What does can't stop, won't stop mean in terms of your culture? Tell me about the culture you want.
Yeah. Just from, you know, where I come from, there's so many times that you actually want to quit, you know, where the odds are so much against you that, you know, you feel like you may want to stop or pick a easier path or road. And can't stop, won't stop is something that I came up with in my music. I would drop these positive messages, like when I would be doing ad-libs on songs, and it's my movement. It's that, you know, no matter what, if you get knocked down 10 times, get up 11. Just keep on getting up and keep fighting and keep learning and embrace the good times, embrace the bad times. But I have something in me that I can't stop. You know, there's times when I was running a marathon and I didn't train for the marathon, so I trained 8 weeks. You know, I kind of used my pull in New York to get me a number to run the marathon. But I just figured that I could do anything, and I didn't really train properly. In between, I was still partying, making records, up late at night. So marathon is 26.2 miles. It's like, you know, it's like life. And so not being prepared on the 10th mile, I hit the wall on the 10th mile where I had sweated all of the sodium out of me. And so my body started to cramp up. And I had to look, and I had 16.2 miles to go. And I was thinking about jumping in a cab. I was trying to figure, like, how can I get out of this? And, you know, I raised money. The whole mission was Diddy runs the city. So I raised $3 million for the public school system. But it was contingent from my friends on me finishing the marathon.
Ooh!
And so the can't stop, won't stop was like, if I have breath in my body, like, I'm gonna keep on getting up. If I gotta crawl, there was points I was crawling, and it's just been a, you know, the mantra, the mission statement of my life. Can't stop, won't stop, and you know, it really has been a symbol of adversity, not just with the marathon, through other things that I've gone through in life, being a public figure, and it's something that you know, is my rallying cry. Culturally also, to my culture, to my community, that you know, we're not going to stop till we get the change that we want and get the quality of life that we want. And yes, there are circumstances that we're in, but you know, if we keep on and keep being persistent, the doors may get slammed on you. People may not pick up the phone, but don't stop.
There's always a way.
There's always a way.
There's always a way. Just because you don't know what the way is doesn't mean there's always a way. You got to keep looking at it. These things echo, because not only have I learned that, but I find that almost everybody who is successful has learned this. Like, my own mantra is dreams plus reality plus determination equals a successful life.
I had an Uncle Shrimp. His name was,
Shrimp?
A shrimp named Uncle Shrimp. They called him Shrimp because he was kind of short.
Oh, okay.
and one day we came up with this quote, and this original quote, and it's don't be afraid to close your eyes and dream, but then open your eyes and see.
That's it.
So That's an original Sean Combs, Uncle Shrimp.
Oh, it's it.
And it's like, don't be afraid to close your eyes and dream, but then open your eyes and see the reality of what it's going to take, no matter how insurmountable it may look.
You've got it. You reflect, you've got humility, and you've gone through experiences, and all the, pain plus reflection equals progress. That's a hero. And now what you really do have to do is write it down and share it in the best way while you're simultaneously doing the other things.
Yes.